Hi, welcome to the Balanced Body Podcast. My name is Stacy Sims, and I own Pendleton Pilates in Cincinnati, Ohio, where I'm an educator and an instructor. And this is Heather Sommer, who's my co-educator and also an instructor in our Pilates system. Today, what we're going to talk about is the importance of spinal extension work. It's one of, I think it's the exercises that help you extend your spine are some of the most difficult, but we're going to A, talk about the importance, B, we're going to show you a way to make the work maybe even a little more enjoyable so you do it more frequently. So Heather, I'm going to turn you around so we can see your back just a little bit. So it's even a little further. Beautiful, great. So basically, in life in general, our culture tends to be pretty forward. So we work at our computers. We tend to just round forward. We talk on the phone. We carry purses. Our whole orientation is to take the spine forward. And even in our Pilates work, we do a lot of flexion, forward bending. So with your Pilates practice, the intention is to not strengthen any one group of muscles more than another. It's to really balance out the body and especially provide strength where we normally don't have it. So we really need to strengthen the muscles along the back body, the spinal extension muscles. Another word of advice, especially as we age and especially to women, there's a tendency to osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, and the spinal extension, the spinal strengthening exercises are really the exercises that you need to do to stay healthy in your spine so it doesn't start crumbling forward. Okay, so we're going to look at a few exercises that help you lengthen and strengthen the back body. So Heather, I'm going to have you go ahead and lie down on the mat. Terrific. So the exercise, there's a group of exercises, and we're only going to do a couple of them from the swimming series. And the swimming series on the mat is when you're lying on your stomach, your legs are long, and you're basically, just show a little example, is when you elevate basically the arms and or the legs up, and then you move them around. That's basically what the work looks like. Go ahead and you can lie back down. There's a couple of reasons why this is difficult. A, it's difficult because we don't really use these back muscles a ton. And it can also really be difficult if you're large-breasted. Oftentimes it feels like you're just not getting any lift from the mat, and I've heard people say that it sort of feels like they're smothering. They're just too close to the ground. So we're going to show you a way to make this work to help you with your range of motion, help you engage all your muscles so it actually feels better and you want to do it more frequently. So, but whether you're doing it on the mat or with the foam roller, there's a couple things to keep in mind that make the work easier. Even though for today we're going to just look at the lift of the front body, we can't ever forget the rest of the body. So if the legs are together, bring them together, it's really hard to get the pelvis in good position with the legs parallel. This is definitely more of an advanced move. So I would say to separate the legs so you can really feel the pubic bone pressing down and you feel the hip bones press down. And when Heather presses her pubic bone down, can you see how her lumbar spine lengthens? And then if she lets it go, do you see how she just got a pretty big curve in that lumbar spine? So what we want to do is we want to start by pressing the pubic bone down, lifting the abdominals so she stays long in her lumbar spine. We use this little stick a lot to help us find our spinal posture. She's got basically her sacrum, the thoracic area, and the occiput on the back of the head connecting with a stick so she doesn't have too big of a curve here in the lumbar or the cervical spine. So essentially, what she's going to do is she's going to press that pubic bone down, lift the abdominals. She's going to put her hands under her head for the first exercise of this. She's going to take an inhale. She's going to exhale, and she's just going to lift the upper body off the floor. So you can see that the intention of the exercise is not that she has a big range of motion, and Heather is only able to lift up oh, I don't know, what's that, 2 or 3 inches off the floor. So you can imagine that even though, and you can relax now, that even though the intention is for a small range of motion, it might feel like you're not doing anything, and I think that would be unsatisfying to the body. So we're going to add more movement. We're going to take this round foam roller, which you can get at Pilates.com on the Balanced Body website. She's going to essentially put it in front of her, and she's going to put her forearms on the roller. And before she even starts the movement, she's going to lengthen and activate those legs. She's going to keep them connected to the ground. The pubic bone is pressing into the mat. And she's going to press the arms down on that foam roller. When she presses the arms down, basically the lats, the side body, the back muscles already start to engage. It opens up her chest. She's going to take an inhale, and she's going to exhale, and she's going to use the foam roller, and she's going to lift herself up. Beautiful. Now, you can see how hard she's working through her lats, through her abdominals. She's using her abdominals to lift up, so she stays nice and long through the spine, and her spine doesn't change position. What you don't want to do here, what I'd like you to avoid, and we're going to go ahead and let Heather do it because she's a trained instructor, is what I'd like you to avoid is just come up so the back is like super arched. Do you see how much arch she has in her back? I mean, there's certain things like gymnasts, etc., may want to be able to get this much arch in the back, but that's not, we've arched her lumbar spine and her cervical spine. Your Pilates practice, and especially to strengthen and lengthen the spinal muscles, are really trying to keep everything in a longer line. So she's going to take an inhale, exhale, she's going to lift her abdominals, she's going to pull back into a nice long line, she's going to inhale, hold, and she's going to exhale, and she's going to roll back down. That was beautiful. Thanks so much, Heather. Thanks for joining us, and we'll hope to see you soon.